Hello.
Good afternoon.
Hello. So, who are you?
My name is Luke Blu Guthrie, born and raised here in the Comox Valley.
Okay, nice. So you're a Valley boy then?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Yeah, because you tour a lot. Well, not really tour, but like in the Valley, you do a lot of gigs, don't you?
Yeah, I'm based here. I'm fortunate enough to still have my home base here, and I've toured all over Canada.
Oh, wow. Okay.
But I like to try and stay on the coast
Okay.
as much as I can. You know?
What's your favorite venue? Or do you have one? Or
That's a really good question. I do such a wide variety of gigs. It's kind of hard to say. I mean, I don't know. All in all, I really just appreciate being able to work with like a variety of ages, and that's what I get to do in general, right?
Yeah.
From like toddlers to people in their 90s. I realize more and more like the gift of music is being able to connect with everybody.
Yeah, it's a communal thing, isn't
Absolutely.
it? Yeah. Nice. Okay. So it's safe to say like your music is like family friendly.
I would like to think so at this point. Yeah,
Okay.
maybe I'm beyond the point of trying to be. Well, maybe I was never trying to be cool to like be edgy, but no,
Right.
there's something. I don't know. There's a great value in that, I think, and just trying to bring people together through music. And I'm not trying to reinvent the wheel. I just really am appreciative of that power and try to share in that.
Okay. Nice. So you're mostly rhythm and blues then.
That's what I call that kind of music, but it's funny, like I get approached all the time by people and they say like, what do you call this kind of music?
Okay.
And it's funny, it's like in some ways it's like these old forms have almost been forgotten, and so people they forgot what early rock and roll sounded like. So I mean, that's what I call it, but I'm sure it has the elements of country music and folk and all that stuff. It's just kind of in its more basic form, maybe.
Oh, okay. So what inspired you to that sound?
I've always been drawn to that sound. I don't know what it is. I think it's more of a feeling, and this is something that it's hard to put into words, but I continue to experiment with this sound and its effect upon people. And it continues to really surprise me at how, like, even though it's 2019, people's tastes in music and what moves them hasn't really changed. Like the trends have, but the same things that like lit off rock and roll in 1956, essentially, that's what most musicians are doing. And it's funny, people still respond to that in the same way. There's still an excited feeling from blues music and from sort of fast-paced country music. And I think that's, I don't know, it's almost been something like a spirit in me that has just always kind of felt that and been drawn to that. It's not even like a thinking thing.
Right. Okay.
Yeah.
Because, it's hard to, because with so many different musicians in the Comox Valley, like, I mean, like rhythm and blues, it's not really this place. I don't know. Maybe it is. I don't know.
Well, and it's funny too because everyone has a different idea of what different genres are, right?
Yeah.
And I encounter that all the time. Like I had someone a few weeks ago say like, "Oh, I thought you played blues," and I was like, "Well, I thought I just did." But I think more and more people have their own ideas of what these genres entail, right? And but for me, it's interesting. Like there was a period there. Like in 1955, 56, where like the term rock and roll hadn't totally been coined, and so actually they often use the term rhythm and blues to describe that almost like fast-paced acoustic blues and country music.
Right.
And eventually that kind of morphed into rock and roll. But yeah, it's almost like that neat place where country music and blues and everything kind of meets, and still has maybe a bit of that acoustic integrity.
Yeah, because you mostly play acoustic, don't you?
Yeah, I have played a lot of electric over the years.
Okay.
But I do find, especially as a solo, and I'm usually solo, there's something a bit more versatile about an acoustic guitar, and so I'm still always experimenting with those things and trying different instruments and making different sounds.
Oh, nice. Okay. Yeah, honestly, you also do slide guitar a bit.
I've always, that's another thing, just like a feeling. I've always been really, really drawn to that technique and that style. And it's really cool. Like I've got, a few little instruments that are not of the greatest quality, but they just have a certain sound, right? And like a certain attitude. And so, I love experimenting, even just in simple ways with slide guitar and that kind of thing.
Okay, yeah, because that takes a lot of finesse, doesn't it? To just get it perfectly.
It really does, yeah. It's actually a neat way of playing guitar because you can get a lot out of very little experience. So like you can start playing slide in minutes, right, and get quite a pleasing sound. But to take it to another level of refinement and precision, it is very much a precise and kind of delicate feel for sure.
Yeah. Do you ever have like the slide here and then hold down a string behind it.
That's, man, where'd you hear about that?
From my guitar instructor, Alan Drossel.
Yeah, of course Al would talk about that. Yeah, that's, man, I don't even go there. That is like, that is so next level.
Okay.
Like, yeah, that is really, really complex stuff. There's another guy by the name of Sonny Landreth, and he does that and sort of like slight variations on that technique, like playing behind the slide.
Yeah.
That, it's unbelievable how much work that would take.
Yeah.
And so, I mean, I hack away at that, but I don't have the guts to do that.
Okay.
I'm not good enough to do that, man.
Okay. Do you do a slide on electric guitar?
Oh, yeah, totally.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, and actually, I've been hauling around this little Supro guitar that I have from the 50s that I got when I was on tour once in Alberta. And it's not a very good guitar, but once again, it has a gnarly sound. And it's electric, and I haul that thing around and plug it in. And yeah, it's funny. Slide guitar always has an impact upon people.
Yeah. As soon as you hear that sound.
Yeah, there's just something very evocative and very lyrical about it, right?
Yeah.
It's kind of like the human voice in a way.
A little bit, yeah, because it can, between the notes, it's not
and that's the thing, right? Is almost the sliding around is the thing that really like gets you, right?
Yeah. Do you do use delay effects on it?
I play with a bit of effect, but I usually run like a little bit of delay on my guitars, but never anything crazy. And I usually just run that most of the time.
Okay.
But it's interesting, like I play quite a bit with Anila, and I've learned a lot from him. And I mean, the Hawaiians have like a whole other technique on slide and with effects. And so it's been really interesting to note the way that he uses those things to get a slightly different, like a more Hawaiian kind of happy sound than your bluesy, like, kind of down and out sort of sound, right?
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
And you do dadgat tuning sometimes.
Yeah, I don't play too much dadgat. Like, I mess around in that. I'm standard tuning alone is like so hard to get proficient on, right? And yeah, dadgat is one tuning that I've not spent enough time on to with any confidence do anything live in. Like, I've seen some guys do like some Irish stuff and some instrumental stuff, and it's like, man, it makes me want to go home and practice more dadgat. That's such a good tuning.
Yeah, I noticed it's good for like Celtic music and like finger picking and stuff. Yeah,
totally. Yeah, there's a certain sound there that I haven't explored enough yet, but I definitely should.
You do other tunings, right? I think.
Yeah, I mean, I've messed around a lot in open C and open D, G, E, and A. There's a few really interesting tunings that like Anila's brought my way that the Hawaiians mess with, and I'm always kind of just exploring around with those. But it's been interesting, I think probably like a lot of guitar players, like early on when I started playing, I was detuning the guitar a lot and exploring all around, but I've realized there's so much to do in standard, that I've been spending more time in standard the last few years and just trying to like get that down.
Yeah.
That's a lifetime pursuit,
Okay. And what was his name again? The Hawaiian guy?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Anela Kahiamoi.
Yeah.
He moved here about 10 years ago from Hawaii.
Okay.
He's a lifelong working musician. Just a massive inspiration to my life and such a gift to this valley. Like, he's really brought a lot to this area, not just with his music, but like with his attitude and his spirit, what he calls like the aloha spirit. Like, that's an infectious thing, man. Like, if I'm ever, not feeling 100%, he and I go hang out and play some tunes. It's
nice. Yeah.
There's something uplifting about his culture and the way that he is so generous in sharing it.
How did you meet?
We first met just around the local music scene, started hitting open jams together and playing together. And now, we periodically do still play together, usually a couple times a month. And man, he never ceases to amaze me.
Yeah. Okay. Nice. So there's definitely... like with the rhythm and blues, and then also adding like a bit of Hawaiian. It's an interesting mix.
Totally. And Anila, he blends everything together really well, and he's got no ego about what he plays. Yeah. And he's taught me a lot about that, and continually reminds me about the importance of like our job as musicians is to bring joy. You know what I mean? Yeah. And so, if that means playing a reggae song, a blues song, a Hawaiian song, or whatever, in some sense, it's like, as musicians, I think it is important for us to like get over ourselves and just recognize our duty to bring people together and to share the good songs, because, they're limited.
Yeah, that's true. So what do you think about mainstream music?
Well, it's quite a question. I mean, I have a real soft spot for good pop music that is designed to manipulate the emotions. You know, I feel that stuff. But without a doubt, like, things have changed even, you know, just in the last 20 years around downloading, and I think all that stuff is affecting music in general. And so it seems like in some ways there's a more clear division between like mainstream music and regional, more kind of grassroots kind of stuff.
Okay, yeah.
It's funny. In some ways, I think like grassroots music and house concerts and that kind of thing is maybe the future of real music. Because people still have, like I said earlier, they still have that appreciation. They still want to make those connections. YouTube and Spotify are not replacements for going to the local record store and like finding something new and having a conversation with someone, right? Like, we still need those kinds of communal connections around music. And so, I don't know, my hope is that the grassroots might, like, that feeling might kind of permeate out back into mainstream music a bit.
Okay. Yeah, I can see that, yeah. And you have an album out, don't you?
I've made a lot of records here in this valley over the years.
Oh, nice.
All of which I'm, like, pretty, I don't know, like, kind of embarrassed of, I guess.
Okay.
Like any, you know, person trying to do something with art, like, my funds have always been limited in the past. So I've made a lot of records basically just to get material out and just keep moving, right? Because I think it's very easy to become stagnant, right? And not kind of just be, laying it out. So I have released over the years probably more than 10 records.
Oh, wow. Okay. Nice.
Not always in great numbers, others in pretty significant numbers around here, but I'm pretty low key, you know. I'm terrible at advertising. Like, I'm just grateful to be able to do what I love, and so, you know, I ply my wares around as I go around town and share it when I can.
Okay.
Yeah.
Where are they available, like your albums?
Oh, thanks for asking. Well, they are on iTunes.
Okay.
They are always available through me and my live gigs. You know, like right now, I'm actually doing a regular happy hour gig at the Flying Canoe.
Okay.
Monday, Tuesdays, and Wednesdays from 4:30 to 6:30.
Oh, nice.
So I'm always selling CDs, you know, off the stage and that kind of thing. They're also available at Bop City.
Okay.
Yep. So they're actually at a local record store, which is nice.
Yeah.
I'm so grateful to Bop City for what they do for our town. And
Yeah.
just keeping music lovers connected. I think that's important, you know, like, it's not the same thing to sit at home and look at stuff, right?
That's true, yeah. Yeah, I like going to, like, record stores and thumbing through to see what I can find.
Totally, and just catching up, you know, like on the local gossip too or whatever. Like, all that stuff is crucial, and it's funny, I mean, you take one or two of those things away and you might not miss it, but collectively, you know, at least the way that I go around, I'm really noticing that people are hungry for these experiences. And that's really something interesting too, like, and I feel privileged in a sense that I get to share music because not everyone gets to, and it is a real thing, right? And people do feel a connection when you open yourself up like that, in that way, right?
Yeah.
And so it's I feel very lucky to be able to relate with people in that way. Yeah.
So that happens a lot at live shows. You feel a connection.
Absolutely. And again, I think a lot of it has to do probably with vulnerability, right?
Okay.
And someone, and I talk about this with a lot of folks a lot of the time, but someone being willing to get up and sing is a very intimate thing, right? Maybe the most intimate thing you could do. And I don't know, when you do that, I think in a sense you are signaling to others or welcoming others to maybe feel safe as well and to share, right? And so it never ceases to amaze me, like, what people will interpret, you know, from what they hear through you, and then too the connection that they feel and that they want to make. And so that's a lucky thing, because I think in these digital times, like, it's probably easier than ever to feel isolated and lonesome. You know?
Yeah, the internet definitely makes it easy to be very introverted. And I get stuck in those places just as much as the next person. And so in some ways, it's funny. Like, I actually see music and even just these ideas of talking with real people face to face. Those are, I don't know, almost acts of, like,
of courage, like to go out and be trying to reach people in those ways, right? And I think we all need to do that. Like we all need to talk to one another at the bus stop, right? And sort of like keep that good feeling going.
Yeah, that would be nice.
Yeah, man, totally.
So what do you think do you ever have any shows that really stand out to you? Like any just really great shows you've done? Or?
Oh, well, it's funny. Like yeah, there are, but I also continue to be humbled by music every day, and it never ceases to amaze me, like what can come out of the most unlikely gigs. And part of that does have to do with the fact that like I'm playing to a very wide variety of ages, right? So maybe that means a little kid and their grandpa dancing or something. But there's I don't know. As I look for the inspiration, for like the positivity, I actually find that there's the littlest things like that are always there, like to make a gig feel worthwhile or good. Like Anila has often said, like the farmers market gig here in town is like the best gig in town.
Okay. And
because like they don't even pay, but they pay in food, right?
Okay. Yeah.
And there's just a feeling there, like you have kids dancing and everyone's smiling. There's just everyone's kind of part of that communal feeling, right? And so even gigs like that they stand out to me just in terms of like an authentic sense of community,
Yeah, I was there. I actually saw Fred Penner at the Farmers Market.
Man.
Yeah.
I would have been in tears probably.
So yeah, you could say you've shared the same stage as Fred Penner.
Hey, man, that's it. I'm done. I'm quitting music. That's all I ever wanted. That's so funny, man. I was such a big Fred Penner fan. I love that.
Yeah,
shit.
when he played, just everyone came together. Like,
I bet, dude.
Yeah.
Wow. I guess that's the part of the reason that I'm still in this valley. Like it's an unusual place, and I'm sure there are other places like this, but there is something going on here that does seem to be a little bit like insulated from the larger music industry or some of the trends, and maybe it's because we are kind of so far out of the way that we have like our own little scene here, and I can't even believe like how many people it actually sustains. Like you would never think that there would be this many working musicians in this area.
There is actually a lot. Yeah,
it's incredible.
Yeah. Do you ever get to work with lots of them or a few of them? Or?
Yeah, no, I'm very, very fortunate. I mean, Anil and I have been very close. Another incredible local musician by the name of Oscar. He's originally from Mexico. Okay. He's like a multi-instrumentalist. He's amazing. Doug Biggs, I've been playing with him quite a bit lately. He plays pedal steel. There's a whole host of people around, and everyone's really supportive. Bruce and Judy Wing, they're kind of like the grandmother and grandfather of the local music scene. Okay. I might recommend interviewing them as well.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, they host an open mic at Roy's, and they just kind of help facilitate like that kind of foundation that is here. Like, and what I also find interesting about the scene is that like there are many people that are not musicians that are regularly supporting this kind of foundation here, right? That are going out and showing their love to these musicians. So that's what keeps it going.
Okay, nice. And you said you've toured in Canada.
Yeah.
Okay, so what's the farthest you've gone?
Well, I did go as far east as Newfoundland.
Oh, nice.
Although I skipped some pretty important provinces in the middle. But other than that, like I have gone as far east as Regina a number of times and have been all over the prairies. Newfoundland was unbelievable. Like I want to go back there. Yeah, the culture out there and the sense of community and connection it was tangible, man.
Okay.
Like, people were so friendly.
Oh, nice.
And same thing on the prairies too. It's very interesting growing up here on this island and like knowing what the stereotypes are of Alberta and the prairies, and then going out there and realizing we're all good Canadian people, right? And that we all like to have a drink and stomp our feet to some good down home music, right? And in a sense, like I felt, I don't know, it kind of unified my sense of Canada in a way, like touring like that and realizing, that folks on the prairies were really, really welcoming, really just and into real music,
Nice.
Yeah.
Okay. I think that's all the questions I have.
Thanks so much for your time, man.
Thank you. Yeah, thank you.
Sure appreciate the invitation.
Yeah, definitely.